Illini fans, welcome to this week's episode of The Eye. I'm your host, Olivia Schmidt. Let's get things started with the Illini Rewind. Due to her consistency this season, women's tennis player Mia Rabinowitz is our Prairie Farms Performer of the Week. The freshman is ranked 107 on ITA. Rabinowitz extended her singles winning streak to 9 matches after beating Wisconsin's Melissa Pick 6-0 and 6-2. Rabinowitz and the Illini will conclude their 2018 regular season on the road, traveling to Ohio State on Friday before they conclude on Sunday at Penn State. Junior Devin Quinn is emerging as one of the top sprinters in the country after his record-breaking performance at the Twilight Meet. Nia Crittenden sat down with this Illini men's track and field star.
I'm Nia Crittenden, and today I'm joined in the studio by Illini track and field junior Devin Quinn. Hi, Devin.
Hi.
So this past weekend, you broke your own facility record in the 100-meter with a time of 10:11, and you moved into third place on Illinois' all-time list. What did you do to prepare for this weekend, and what do these accomplishments mean to you?
I really didn't change up too much this week for this weekend at all from the past prior 2 weekends. In fact, I would say I prepared less for this weekend than any other weekend this season. Just because since we didn't travel, that was not a part of our schedule, whereas normally we have a day of traveling, and instead of traveling, we had an extra workout this week. So that kind of made me feel a little bit less prepared, especially on race day. I felt a little bit more sore than normal, which was very, I guess, uncomfortable, but overall, I mean, made it work, made it happen. Going back to breaking the facility record, I felt like it was a very fluid, successful race from a technique standpoint. I was talking to my coach after the race. There was nothing he could really point out that was specifically like wrong or that I could even correct. It was more of just we need to continue building, continue working, and keep that consistency throughout this rest of the season. So
Nice. And is track and field a sport that you've always been passionate about?
ever since high school, I actually played soccer from by the time I was 5 years old all the way up right before high school. And my sister was 2 grades ahead of me, and she decided to run track at the same time, play soccer. So I was just like, shoot, she's good at it. I'll take a step up and try track once I got to high school. Ran my freshman year, and it just kind of took off.
Cool. And I know you're successful in both the 100 and the 200. Do you have a favorite?
I personally like the 100 better. For some reason, I just feel a lot more natural in it, but it kind of flip-flops depending on which one I PR'd in last, which is kind of fun because I'm like, I'm excited to run the 200 again because I just PR'd. I want to keep seeing where that's going, or I PR'd in the 100. I want to see where that's going. Right. So, I mean, both of them are pretty equal to me. So overall. Good.
And my last question before we wrap up: what does it mean to you to be an Illini athlete?
Oh, it is wonderful. It means a lot, just because I'm not from the state of Illinois, and it has given me the opportunity to get an education probably greater than anything I could achieve without, being an athlete here. So.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yep. Thank you.
That's it. Olivia, back to you.
Thanks, Naya. After the break, we'll get to know a right-hand pitcher on the number 25 Illini baseball team.
It's hard not to be a fan of a credit card that gives you more while saving you money every single day. The Illini Visa Rewards Card, available only through U of I Community Credit Union.
It was a windy game against Rutgers this past Sunday, but that didn't affect Ty Weber's performance on the mound. Lauren Ross tells us more about this Illini who is making an impact as an underclassman.
Thanks, Olivia. The 23-9 Illinois baseball team has won 5 of their last 6 games. The Illini continued its boost on Sunday with help from sophomore pitcher Ty Weber. Ty Weber is only a sophomore for Dan Hartleb's Illini baseball team, but is already making his presence known on the pitcher's mound. Weber threw a complete game in the Illini sweep-clinching 10-4 win over Rutgers. Sunday's weather favored batters as the wind blew straight out throughout the entire game at speeds as high as 25 miles per hour. He was able to hold Rutgers to hitting mostly ground balls on the windy day. While throwing 106 pitches, Weber allowed 4 runs on 4 hits, while striking out 6 Scarlet Knights. This is the Wisconsin native's second career complete game. His first came last season against Indiana State. Weber has a 4-1 record on the season for the Illini. He leads the team with 32 strikeouts in 57 innings pitched. His 3.0 ERA is third on the team for the Illini. Up next, Weber and the Illini will take on Grand Canyon in a 3-game series at Illinois Field. Thanks, Olivia. That's it for this week's Athlete Profile. Back to you.
Thanks, Lauren. It was a busy week in Illinois athletics with more coming up this weekend. Maddie Button joins us in the studio with this week's Illini preview.
Thanks, Olivia. Now let's take a look at what's happening this week in Illinois athletics. With a full weekend of sports, both Illini baseball and softball are back to their home field. Continuing on with their very successful season, Illini baseball hosts Grand Canyon University Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunday's game is also a fan favorite, Bark in the Park, so bring your favorite 4-legged friend to cheer on the Illini. Fighting Illini softball hosts the Iowa Hawkeyes Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. Number 7 ranked men's tennis team will travel to Wisconsin on Friday and then quickly turn around to head to Minnesota for Sunday's match. Women's tennis also has a big weekend ahead, traveling to Ohio State on Friday and then heading east to Penn State Sunday. In addition, both men's and women's track and field are traveling to California for an exciting weekend. They will compete at the Mount Sac Relays and Beach Invite, and hopefully they can bring the warmer weather back to Champaign. Both the Illini men's and women's golf teams are headed to Ohio this weekend. The women's team will be competing in the Big Ten Championships in Mainville, while the men's team at the Robert Kepler Intercollegiate in Columbus. Finally, both the men's and women's gymnastics teams are having stellar seasons. The men's team heads to Chicago this weekend for the NCAA team and individual finals, while Ray Balthazar heads down to St. Louis to represent the Fighting Illini women's gymnastics team in the NCAA championships, competing in the all-around competition. And that's it for this week's Illini preview. Olivia, back to you.
That's it for this week's episode of The Eye. Make sure to check back next week for more inside looks on Illinois athletics.